Hi, you guys. It's me, Tennille, again. I know I promised you guys that after my live reaction, I was going to watch the mess out of the season 6 trailer for The Walking Dead. So I'm back to give my views on what's going on with The Walking Dead and where they're going and how I kind of see things and what I saw in the trailer. First off, let me say I had a great time with Baby K and the ladies last night with the live chat. I enjoyed them. You know, it was so much fun. Can't wait to do it again. So now let's get to the breakdown of the trailer. Okay, now let's talk about Morgan and Rick. Why was Morgan telling Deanna, I'm going to say Deanna, you know, we have to stop Rick. You know, I could stop him. Let me talk to him. I don't think that they're going to have much of an issue as people think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be too much of a big issue with Morgan and Rick. You know, I think that he's trying to tell him, you know, his way of living now is, you know, we don't have to, you know, I don't know what Rick's plan is, but it may be something that they feel like they'll all get killed. It's not a good plan, but as we all know, when Rick says something, you need to go with what Rick says. You know, you just have to follow what Rick says. It's the same thing when he said they needed to go back and kill all the rest of the Terminus people, and what happened? Bob ended up getting killed, and you know, it was just a mess. So I feel like whatever Rick say, y'all need to just listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. You know, he might be a little bit off his rocker, but Rick knows what he's talking about, you know, and Morgan should know that, you know. Let's see what's next. I wrote notes so I wouldn't forget. Okay. I talked about Aaron. I kind of saw Aaron. He looked a little out of it, sad and a little bit, you know, out of it. And the ladies were saying last night that they think maybe it's, you know, seeing all these walkers, he's never had to come across anything, you know. I mean, that looked like 200 plus walkers outside the, you know, outside the gate. So, you know, who knows what's going on with Aaron. I think that, you know, my personal opinion is I think something happened to Eric, his partner. I think something happened with him, because every scene that I saw with Aaron, he looked just out of it. He just looked out of it. So we would just have to see what's going on with Aaron. Now on to Deanna. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I do not see Deanna portraying her comic book counterpart. I can't... Oh, is it Douglas? Is his name? Is it Douglas who's supposed to be Deanna in the comic book? I think it's Douglas. Yeah, it's Douglas. And he, you know, he loses it when he loses his wife. He loses it. But I don't see Deanna doing that, because there's a part in the trailer where that was Deanna. I know for a fact that that was Deanna when she was bashing this walker's head in. She was going in on this walker. So I don't see her dying anytime soon. I think they're going to keep her around for a little while. You know, I could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't seen anything where they've been talking about, you know, on the Spoiling Dead that she's still alive and she's still kicking. I haven't seen her filming anymore. So she could be gone. I don't know. But I'm predicting that they might keep her around a little bit longer, but we don't know because we haven't heard anything about her filming anymore. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I wanted to take a minute and talk about the situation with Jesse. Now let's talk about Jesse. Jesse can go one or two ways. She can go the route of dying the way she did in the comic book, or they can keep her around. And let me tell you how they can keep her around. Remember, we have Jesse in the closet with her son. And like I said, you know, last night in the chat, oh girl didn't know what she was doing with that gun. She didn't know. You know what I mean? She didn't know what was going on. But what I will say is I think that what they might do with her, I'm not necessarily saying that her and Rick will have anything to do with each other. But what I will say that they might do with her, I think that she might lose her son, Ron, because he's not even in the closet with her and her son. So where's Ron? So let me tell y'all how they can make her a badass. She lose Ron. Okay, y'all follow me? She loses Ron, and they use that to make her, that anger, turn her into this badass character. I'm just saying, because you know how The Walking Dead, how they can write. They can do anything. So I'm just putting it out there. I'm just saying, you never know. They could do that. That's something that they can do when it comes to Jesse's character. Her son Ron was not there with them. It was just her and Sam. You know what I'm saying? So Ron could easily die, because in the comic book, he did die. So when all that happens, who knows? He could be one of the casualties that dies in that first or second episode when they're being overran by the wolves and there's walkers that, you know, got in, and, you know, we don't know. Now, there's another observation that I have with Sam. I have a feeling, and I could be wrong, they could have Sam take on some of Carl's role. What I mean by taking on Carl's role, I don't see Carl getting killed. I mean, getting shot in the eye. They can give that to Sam. I don't know where that came from. That was just something that just kind of popped into my head, and I was just like, okay, I have to talk. I have to say this. I really do feel that they can do that, because we have seen where they have broken, you know, from characters and given it to other characters. You know, Carl is a lot older than what he was when they got to Alexandria. I'm going to say he's probably about the age of Sam. So that could be the little Carl that's going to take on that role when Negan comes, and, you know, him and Negan have this relationship. You never know what they're going to do. But that was just something that I thought about when it comes to Sam. He could be taking on Carl's part, because Carl is grown. He's way too old. You know, I'm not saying that necessarily that he can't take that role on, but I just have a feeling that they are going to have this little boy Sam take a lot of Carl's parts when they first got to Alexandria, only because Carl is a lot older and they might want a younger child to take that. And like I say, you know, and another thing, it can also go, you know, her and Rick end up getting together in that sense. I don't know. I hope that they don't do that. I agree. I feel like they don't need to get together. It's too much. It's just too much drama, first off, with them. And like my man Andrew Lincoln said, you know, I did just kill her husband. Now calm down, you know, and we ain't getting married. We're not, no, calm down, chill out. It's too much drama, too much behind it for me and her to have anything going on, you know. So let's see here. I wanted to get into just a little bit about Michonne and Carol. You know I've talked about them before in other episodes, but I've been thinking, and my, you know, the wheels in my head have been turning, honey. And this was just something that I just wanted to talk about. And I ain't gonna say I ain't gonna talk about it again. I might bring it up again. You never know. But what I wanted to say was that let's break down the difference between Carol's badassness and Michonne's badassness. I'm gonna break it down like this. I feel like let's talk about Michonne first. Michonne is more of a hands-on type of woman. She's one of those women that she goes to battle and she will go fight a man. I've said this before. That woman will go fight a man, and she doesn't think. Her instinct is just, I'm going after the governor. You know, Merlin didn't want to come and hunt me down. I'm going to take all of them out. You know, she doesn't think. She just goes for it. And Michonne has, you know, Danai has even said it in some of her interviews where she said, look, me and Michonne, we are two totally different people. If that was me, I'm a type of person, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to think, okay, if I'm going in here trying to go after the governor, am I going to win this fight? This is a man. How is this going to work in my favor? She's very, she said she thinks it out. She said, but Michonne, that's not Michonne. Michonne is like, oh, I'm going to go get the governor and I'm going to win. And, I'm going to come out victorious. That's how Michonne thinks. Michonne is not weak at all when it comes to battle. That girl can use her sword and she can also use them hands. Let's talk about when they came back from a run and they did a practice run. It was Glenn and Tara and rest in peace, Noah and Deanna's son and Nicholas. They all went out and they were trying to show them the ropes, right? And when they came back, they were arguing and fussing and saying, you almost got Tara. Tara could have died. Y'all are very, y'all don't know what y'all are doing. You don't know what you're doing. And they get into a big old argument. And what did Michonne tell one of the guys? I'm not sure who she told. She was like, do you want to be knocked on your ass again? That's how Michonne rolled. Michonne will fight a man, a woman. It does not matter to Michonne. Michonne just thinks, I gotta go. I gotta do what I gotta do. You know what I mean? With Michonne, her weakness, and again, Denai has said it, her weakness is her humanity, getting that back, connecting with humans again, connecting with people, having those relationships with people. That is her weakness. She does not have a problem with combat. That she can do hands down. Denai has said that, but time and time again, her problem has been simply, communicating and getting close to people. But what I will say, she is a lot better in the show than she is in the comic book, because in the comic book, she's still struggling with that. She's still struggling to be human again, to be a person that can be in that community. She's struggling in the comic book, but in the show, she's a lot better. So now let's talk about Carol. Carol, I can break this down too with Carol. What I feel about with Carol, what we see is that woman knows her weaknesses and she knows her strength. Carol knows she's not a hands-on combat woman. She knows she cannot just go and pick a fight with the governor. Let's just say the governor or the wolves. She knows she has to strategize. She's got to be sneaky with it. She's got to run up on you and have the upper hand. She just can't go for you. You know what I mean? She just can't do that. And I know some people will say, well, look at what she did with Pete. Okay, let's talk about that with Pete. The situation with Pete, I'm going to say, is that when she went into his house and she put that knife up to his throat, which I have to understand, and I know it's a show and they had to use that to show how badass Carol was, but in real life, do you really think that a man would let that woman come and put a knife up to her throat? Let's just be real. If that was a real life, that man would have they would have tussled and they would have fought. Let's just be real. If that would have happened, honestly and truly, I'm going to be real. There's no way, I don't think Carol would have walked out of that, without being badly hurt. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. I just don't see her walking out of that without being badly hurt or something seriously happened to her. You know what I mean? So back on the subject, Carol knows her weaknesses. And I mean, even there has been episodes where they have even showed where Carol has took a knife, a machete, and stuck it, in a walker's head, and she can't get it out. And somebody's had to come up and help her out. Like, let's go back to the prison when they found out, when Rick had his suspicions that she killed Karen. And she was out there, clogging the water so they could have fresh water. And she's out there and he's like, runs out there. He's like, I told you not to go out there. And she up there runs up to the walker and hits it in the head with the machete and he gets caught. That's her. That's a weakness of hers. That is a weakness that she has. And that's the truth. She does have a weakness. She does not do good with, hand-to-hand combat. She just doesn't. So that's how she works it in her favor. That woman is the type of woman, she sits back and she's like, okay, I'm gonna let y'all think I'm weak. I'm gonna let y'all think I'm the mother hen and I bake cookies and I do this and I do that and I love the kids and the old people. But you don't know, I'll come through your back door and come in and slit your throat while you sleep. You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of try to ask yourself, what is better, Michonne's way or Carol's way? You know, but I will say this, I don't know how long Carol can keep up that facade, because somebody's gonna outsmart you in the end. Somebody's gonna catch on to what you are doing, because I think Deanna kind of already has it in her mind that she knows that, you know, Carol can't be this damsel in distress and the mother hen and they looked out for her. She kind of knows, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it's gonna come to a point, boo-boo, where you gonna have to do some hand-to-hand combat, period. You are gonna have to do that. You're gonna have to come out, and you're not gonna be able to strategize. You're not gonna be able to think. It's gonna be a point where you're gonna have to get like Michonne and be like, I gotta go. I can't think, you know, and cover up my face and do this and do that. Because I also saw in the trailer where they were showing a hooded person shooting at people. That's Carol. You know, that's Carol that's doing that. And I saw that from, I'm going to give a shout out to the Zeus Tuber. He pointed that out. And I was like, you know, there she goes again. She knows she's strategizing. That's how she gets things done. She runs up on you. That's how she strategizes. So I just kind of wanted to get into that and kind of like give my thoughts on that, because, you know, both of them have their own ways of, you know, doing things. Like Michonne said, she would love to see them two get together and talk about, you know, strategize together. Well, you know, let's get together and how do you do this, and how they can learn from each other. They can learn something from each other. You know what I mean? So I think that's something that I would like to see as well. I think everybody wants to see that. Everybody is kind of like, you know, I don't see where, you know, these two don't connect. They have so much in common and they've lost so much, you know. So we would just have to see what happens with that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, there was a scene where Glenn was talking to Maggie, right? And he tells her, do you think you can trust her? Just keep an eye on her. And then they pan to Carol. No, that is nothing to do with Carol. That has nothing to do with Carol at all. They're talking about Deanna. You know, they think that Deanna is kind of losing it herself by losing her husband. You know, she not too long ago lost her son, and now her husband died right in front of her. So I think that they are, you know, keep an eye on Deanna. Since she's working so close with Deanna, that's what that has to do with it. Now, Jesse and Michonne, they are not in the shot together. Jesse's in that closet by herself with her son, and Michonne is in like a shop, or, you know, with the guys. That's where she is. She's in her own separate place. And shall I say, I don't know if she went out first, but it looks like she the one that went out first, slicing and dicing, and everybody fell behind her. So, you know, we just have to see what's going on with The Walking Dead. Those were just some of the things that kind of stuck out to me. Like I said, I have one more thing. Daryl. I don't see anything happening to Daryl. I could be wrong. You know how they mess with us. They want us to think something's going to happen to Daryl, but I don't see nothing going on with Daryl. I think Daryl's going to be all right. He going to get out, and he going to come out all right. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to come on and give my thoughts, quick thoughts. It's going on 20 minutes. And I don't want to hold you guys too long, you know, because my attention span is like that. So I just wanted to come on and say my piece. And like I always say, I just come on here to talk about what I talk about, no more, no less. You guys have a blessed day. Peace.